Welcome to a new edition of the Voice Recap. I am Sean,
And I'm Chris.
and we watched another week of Battle Rounds this week. Woo!
It was awesome.
They're really fun. I mean, even when they're not great, they're still fun.
Yeah.
I like getting to see these contestants that are sometimes like really good together, like people that are belong together, and then other contestants that are completely mismatched.
Yeah.
The Shields brothers that I feel like I've brought up every episode recently, they were matched with a girl who they could not have been more different, those two people. And that was when I started realizing that I don't think duos have a chance in this competition. And this week we'll just confirm that belief, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think a duo can like make it to live voting.
Yeah, I think it's really, unless they go against each other, I think it's near impossible.
And in order for that to happen, they would both have to be picked by the same judge. And how likely is a single judge to pick more than one duo?
Yeah.
It's a weird mechanic of the show that I think is the weirdest part about it. I hope they just decide to toss it out. I'd be fine with it.
Me too.
I like that they let people play instruments. That's something I've always appreciated.
Oh, absolutely.
And we get to see, that way we get to see contestants like Mackenzie, who was on this week's episodes, come out from behind a guitar, which clearly made him very uncomfortable. But that's part of performing and learning to perform.
Absolutely.
I like that. So let's get started. This week we started with a Blake Shelton team battle between Julio Cesar Castillo and Teresa Griffin. Julio was the mariachi singer who sang La Bamba.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. And
That was him.
Teresa Griffin is one of the big black gospel sounding.
I think she's the one I wanted the thyroid test on.
Yes. Sure. You remember all the medical trivia. I'll take care of the rest.
Sticks.
It's good that you're in the profession that you're in.
Oh, yeah.
So Blake, these were two of his weirder contestants, right? Because they're not exactly pop artists. They're not exactly country artists.
And they're so different from each other, too, that I don't know. I thought it was a different type of pairing. And then when they said the song,
Yeah.
when they picked Conga, I was like, oh, Julio, you're like, you won already. Like,
Yes.
It's so unfair.
The song is Conga by Gloria Stefan, and it just seemed like, well, Julio's got this in the bag. The rehearsals didn't quite show that would definitely be the case. He struggled with words and breathing because that song is just so fast.
Yeah, because, and they've admitted this too, like, nobody knows the words to Conga.
I laughed so hard when they said that.
Me too, because I'm like, oh my god, I don't.
No one knows the words. And they had to learn them, and they had to learn when to breathe and all this stuff. And you'd think that Julio, who does mariachi singing, like when you hear him singing mariachi, it basically sounds like this to me. It's just like continuous syllables with barely taking a breath. But he doesn't think of it that way. So when he went to learn Conga, it was a challenge. So they came out swinging. I would say that their performance was way better than the rehearsal showed it was going to be. And it was a lot of fun, but I had a clear favorite. I wanted Julio to take this. I like Teresa fine, but I thought Julio was better. And something that surprised me about his singing in English is I felt like his voice had this like Michael Jackson kind of sound to it that I really hadn't expected.
Okay, I can see that.
I think it has to do with like a lot of English actors when they affect a American accent, their voice goes up. I think that Julio was kind of the same way. Like when he's singing English with an American accent, his voice went up. And there were a couple times that I was like, wow, that tone just sounds a lot like MJ. And I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, so that there was nothing wrong with that for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked the performance, too. I thought Julio was great the whole time. There's just, for me, that I like Teresa in the end, just because there was that one part when she rolled that one part at the very end of the song. I was like, wow, you could do that, too?
Yeah.
Like, I immediately was like, oh, I so want you to win now.
Yeah.
But until that moment, I'm like, Julio's got this. And I was like, oh, now who does he pick?
Yeah, it's not that she's not talented. She
Yeah.
definitely is. And that's why they started off this episode with the steal for Team CeeLo. So Blake took Julio. He decided to keep him. And Teresa went up for grabs, and CeeLo stole her.
That made me happy.
And that fills up CeeLo's steals. He's now stolen 2 people.
Yeah, and it was cool too because the crowd was just chanting "steal, steal, steal" for the whole time. Like please hit the button. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like how that has become part of the competition now.
Next, we have Des Duran versus Paulina from Team Christina. They're saying "Just the Way You Are."
Bruno Mars.
Yep. And did we see Paulina in the blinds? Because they made it seem like we just met her.
They did, and that's exactly the reason why. Because they didn't show us her story in the blind auditions.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, they're telling us a lot about her. I'm like, she must not have been. She must have been the one that they skipped over.
Yeah.
So, she was a young singer. She took Christine in the beginning, and Billy Joe, like, while they were rehearsing, he's like, whatever you do, don't blow it. I'm like, no pressure now.
Yeah, right. Hearing Billy Joe Armstrong tell you to not screw up. No pressure.
Yeah, none at all. Like, oh, yeah, I got this now. Like, if I wasn't nervous before, thanks.
Exactly.
And I thought it was a good performance. Not the best.
I definitely favored Des going into this anyway.
Right, yeah, because I knew nothing about Paulina. So, like, until that point, I was just like, But overall, I thought Des did much better.
Mm-hmm.
You could see, I didn't like some of the inflections that they threw in the song with the way it works, because I've actually heard at least this song before.
This is one,
Yeah, I don't listen to much pop music, so, like, when I say, oh, yeah, I know him. So, in the end, I chose Des. I thought he did great, and Christina chose him, too.
This is one of those ones where mismatched styles didn't really lend itself to a good performance.
Yeah.
Like that, sometimes mismatched styles are fine. Like I'm thinking of last week with Melanie and Caitlin. Like those two couldn't have been more different, but it was a great performance and a really good duet. This was a time where that didn't work out very well.
Yeah.
And for Team Christina, come on.
I know.
What's going on, Christina? So I was fine with her decision. Goodbye,
Yeah.
Paulina, a girl that we barely knew.
I know.
Too bad.
Yeah. Sorry.
Team Adam was up with Sam James and Benji, and he gave them the classic Bon Jovi tune, You Give Love a Bad Name, which they pretty much left it as a rocker, didn't they? Benji is the one who, when he tried out, after he was done, CeeLo turned around and goes, "What's your name?"
I love that. I love how they re-showed it too when they were going into it.
So funny. So yeah, Sam James was was he almost a little bit country? I feel like, or maybe I'm mixing him up with someone else, but he was more of a laid back rocker style, and Benji was like kind of an aggressive, like not just a screamer, but all of his vocals were like, in your face.
Yeah, you can hear him more. Even when they were singing together, I thought Benji stood out more to me while they were singing.
I wasn't crazy about Benji just because I felt like he was going to be pigeonholed with this screaming thing. And I guess Adam decided that he also liked the versatility of Sam James versus Benji.
Yeah. I saw that too. I mean, overall, like I was kind of leaning towards Benji, but this is one of those ones where, like, I was stuck in the middle. Like,
it was a wash.
Yeah, I was like, it's so close. I was like, this, because Sam has his own issues too with different things. We're not being able to get to the high notes as much.
Yeah,
but you could work on that. Benji, you can't. You try and tone him down, and sometimes you can't.
Yeah, maybe he's covering for his own deficiencies in his singing.
Yeah, because there's a couple of times where I'm like, okay, he screamed a couple of times, but when he did like 3 or 4 times in the song, I don't remember how many. I was like, it's too many.
It's enough. We heard it.
And they told you that in rehearsals.
Right.
Like, you don't need it all, especially for a Bon Jovi song. I love Bon Jovi. He doesn't do that like 5 times in a song.
Yeah, and Bon Jovi can really sing. He totally can.
So yeah, I was like kind of. I was happy to see Adam choose Sam.
Yep, this one rolled in Sam's favor, and we said we bid adieu to Benji. Next up was the fourth team of the evening, Team CeeLo. We had Nicholas David, who you may remember as the tall, scraggly, kind of goofy-looking dude.
With the cool hat.
Was it a cool hat?
No.
Really?
I'll be very sarcastic.
And Todd Kessler. And CeeLo gave them the Hall & Oates classic, She's Gone, which is a phenomenal song. I never get sick of that song. And during rehearsal, I was like, well, I just don't like Nicholas that much. He's too weird, so I'm going to favor Todd. And I just found myself thinking that until they actually got out and started performing.
Yeah, I figured once you said that, once the performance would probably sway you the other way. Because
This was one of those times when I closed my eyes for like 30 seconds, and I was like, it's Nicholas. His voice is amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. I couldn't believe it. When they got out there, I was like, wow. And at first, when they were previewing it, I didn't recognize him because he didn't have his hat on. So he had his long hair. I was like, who's this guy? I don't remember him. And then they showed it during the preview. I'm like, oh, hey. So, yeah, I was happy that CeeLo chose Nicholas for this one. I thought he did a great performance and everything.
I wish this guy would have a makeover, and maybe they will.
Yeah.
Like, if he makes it to live voting, maybe they'll give them all stylists, because it's not all about the way that you look, but, you know, that's
it
kind of
helps.
important.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
And his voice is just the natural sound of his voice is like something amazing. I have no idea where it comes from.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm more than happy to see Nicholas stay in the competition, even if he is goofy looking.
Yeah.
I'll call it.
So next up, we have Lilia Broussard versus Susanna Schoffel from Team Blake. They sang "Dog Days Are Over" by Florence and the Machine.
Yep.
We have another Florence and the Machine song. So again, I had no idea what they were singing.
We're getting very familiar with their work from this show alone.
Yeah, I definitely need to go at least check them out and see what it's all about. That's for sure. And I can't remember much about the rehearsals. I don't think I was too impressed with the rehearsals. Like, nothing like that like caught my eye in particular.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you thought, but I thought when points in the song, when they were actually doing the battle itself, that they sounded like the same person.
Yes. This was when they announced them. I wasn't like, neither one of these contestants were people that I was overly excited about during the blind audition. So I was just like, oh, okay, I guess this won't be as interesting as a battle for me. And then they went through rehearsals, and I was like, nope, still don't care. And then they did the performance, and I was like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
These are two people that Blake chose that I didn't care, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I at least try to keep it kind of like, okay, who would I pick? I chose Layla because she had a great falsetto, and I was like, I like that a lot, the way she did that for the song. I was like, I'll pick you. But yeah, I was kind of looking forward to the next one a little bit. Is that bad?
No, I fault Blake for picking these people that I don't care about, but he must be passionate about them for some reason. So
yeah,
we'll leave it to Blake.
Yeah, and he chose Susanna overall, so I was wrong, but I didn't care.
We'll see them later, and maybe they will make us care by then. That's their job. That's your job, Susanna. Make us care about you.
Yep.
We're
critical.
The final battle of the night, and the one that it was so obvious that there was going to be a steal because they can't stop advertising that.
I know. Oh my God! By the time it came to that, I was like, "Oh crap! There's going to be a steal in this one."
Yeah.
Why do I care now?
Well, you care who goes on whose team, but all the drama of someone going home or battling for their life or whatever is gone because you know that they're both safe.
Completely gone. Yeah, and I was like, whatever. So overall, I thought it was a great performance.
So it was Sylvia Yacoub, she was the one who was originally from Egypt, and Jocelyn Rivera, who is just an adorable little thing who has the sweetest voice. And I was not favoring Sylvia for sure.
Me neither.
I really like Jocelyn, and they sang "Best Thing I Never Had," which is something I don't know. It's a Beyonce song, and that's why I don't know it.
Me too.
And good performance, right?
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it. Overall, I thought Jocelyn's was better. I liked the sweetness in her voice with the way she sang it together. They sounded great. I thought Sylvia was a little powerful,
Yeah.
but in the end, and the best part is, as I'm going through this, I know this deal's coming. So as I'm watching them, I'm watching the judges. I'm like, okay, if this person gets picked, who's going to steal her?
Yeah, I wonder. So Christina opted for Sylvia. I don't
Right.
know. I don't know what exactly her reasoning was, but I guess between the two of them, Sylvia is a more power singer, and maybe that's what Christina was attracted to. But that's the thing that I didn't like about her. But do you think other judges would have stolen Sylvia as well?
I think CeeLo might have. I
Well,
don't.
no, he's done. He's out.
Oh, he was done. So no, because I knew full well that Adam and because here's what happened. I'm going through this going okay, because I totally forgot that CeeLo had his steals done.
Yeah.
Because they don't show you until the end. You're like, oh yeah, hey, they're all gone. I was like, I'm watching this going, and the way Christine's making her decision, I'm going, I know exactly how this is going to play out. I'm like, Christina's going to take Sylvia. Adam and Blake are going to try and steal Jocelyn, and Jocelyn's going to pick Adam. And I called this before the song was done.
That's amazing.
And I was completely right.
Yes, you were. So Adam and Blake both appealed, but I mean, Jocelyn was right to go with Adam.
Oh, absolutely.
She should not have gone with Blake. Adam will take very good care of her. I'm excited to see her on his team.
Yeah, I can't wait to see her next performance.
So that was the end of night one. That fills up CeeLo and Adam's steals. Blake still has one steal. He only used one the first night. He was actually the first person to steal anyone, but he either has not stolen or has successfully won a steal since then.
Yeah, and Christina has 2 steals left.
Right. She is not. Has she even competed?
No.
She's tried once. She tried
Once?
to steal
Okay.
Amanda Brown.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
Amanda
that's
went
right.
to Team Adam.
Yeah, because they all hit the button that day. That's
Yes,
right.
they did. That's the only time that's happened. I mean, Adam and Blake
Yeah.
both turned around on this one, and they were the only ones that could, but still, that's not as impressive as the
Right.
3-person steal. And that won't happen again.
Yep.
So night 2 started off with Team Blake again, with Liz Davis and Nicole Johnson singing a song that was near and dear to Blake's heart because his wife sang it, called Baggage Claim. This is the way you do a country battle that makes me like it, Blake.
Yeah, this was great. I really enjoyed it, and I don't listen to country, so
You pick a poppy sounding country song like your wife's. Like Miranda Lambert, I drummed one Miranda Lambert song on my channel because she has really good like rock pop country. The kind of country that I can actually stand.
yeah, not the twangy kind of one.
Yeah, not the one with the fiddler standing in the corner stomping his foot. Like that that's a cue that I am not going to enjoy it. So I liked this battle. I don't have any preference for country artists, so I'm gonna say like in the end I will not end up favoring these girls, but I did like this battle.
Yeah, me too. I couldn't really choose between the two. I was like, if I have to pick, I guess I would pick Nicole, but it was kind of like either way for me. Like I don't know. As I wrote in my own notes, I said country is not my thing. Sorry if I just offended anybody. I apologize.
Yeah, the same for
But-
me. I wasn't really favoring either girl.
Yeah,
I was just
I
like,
just
well, this is a
wanna-
fun battle. Whoever Blake chooses is whoever Blake chooses.
Yeah. So he ended up choosing Liz. So I'm okay with that.
Yep, that's fine.
And no one stole Nicole, which didn't really surprise me. I think it's hard for somebody to steal somebody from Blake, who's like mostly country singers, because unless it's like CeeLo, I don't really.
Yeah,
see
CeeLo's
them.
the only other person who's really expressed an interest in country singers, and like we said, his
he's
steel
the-
team is filled up.
Yeah, so I don't see anybody else getting stolen from Blake, but you never know.
Yeah.
I could be surprised.
He has a few like pop girl singers in there, so Christina might want to try. I don't know. So the next battle was Team Adam. We had Kayla, Navarez, and Alessandro Guercio. Jeez. Alessandra Guercio. There we go. Working through it. They sang Wide Awake, which is a Katy Perry song that I hear every day at work.
See, I don't hear it that much, so I'm like, oh, what's the song?
I actually didn't recognize it when they started singing it, and then as soon as they got to the chorus, I was like, oh, this song. And then I was like, okay, well, now I got to listen to this again today.
Yeah.
And these girls really struggled on the rehearsal. It was very clear that they were having trouble with this song.
Oh, unbelievably so. It was blatantly obvious.
Alessandra is the one who is going to the school that I keep forgetting the name of. It's the Fame school.
It. Yeah, and they keep mentioning it too, which is like the worst part.
I can't remember. And Kayla is young and inexperienced, and that worked in her favor.
Absolutely.
If you've ever watched Glee before, there's this character named Rachel who is like this obsessed, like everything has to be perfect. She puts on perfect performances. Her idol is Barbra Streisand. Like that's the kind of artist she is. Alessandra is a Rachel. She totally is. And Kayla is just this natural talent that is kind of undeveloped, but already really good. And Christina, her first note in rehearsal was to tell Alessandra to stop pronouncing the words so much.
Right.
And Kayla just had that. She was just fine with it.
Yeah, and I think that really helped her in the end, too.
And it helped her with me because I was already rooting for Kayla before they started the battle.
Oh, me too.
And luckily for us, Christina agreed with us.
Yeah, and Kayla really surprised me with her ability.
I'm sorry, not Christina. Adam. Adam. Team Adam.
Right. My bad.
My bad. I said that too.
Our bad. Oh, that's why I put that there. I know why Christina was on my brain now.
Christina's on Chris's brain because Alessandra was stolen by Christina. Man, this was actually my favorite use of the steal so far because, Kayla's awarded her place. She walks off the stage. Carson says, I'll remind you, Alessandra is now available to steal. And then Christina just like starts talking to Alessandra. She's just like all of a sudden offering some words of wisdom, and she's like, don't worry, like everything, blah, 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 blah. And she does this whole little speech, and then she's like, and I'm saying all of this because boom, and she hits the steal button.
I was like, what? Like I had like no idea she was gonna press it until like the end of the song. I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna press the button. Holy crap.
Yeah, that was nice. I'm sure Alessandra was like really pretty heartbroken, and she's like, oh, it's nice Christina's giving me a pep talk, but now I have to go home. And then boom, you don't have to go home.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Good. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that way, the use of the steal that way.
So even though I'm not crazy about Alessandra, it was nice of Christina to keep her around.
Absolutely. And now after this, we have our quick run through of 3 battles that they skipped over.
Yeah,
which made me sigh in disgust.
Really sucks because I liked 2 of these people a lot. Thankfully, they won.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about Michael Wastman and Michelle Brooks Thompson.
Yeah, same for me.
They went up against Ben Taub and Adana Duru, respectively. We can't really tell how well they did. I found out after we complained about this last week that a lot of this footage is available online. So if you care enough to go check it out, it's available. But again, all of our points are valid, about these people not getting exposure and everything. I'm still maintaining that.
And like I said last week too, there was 3 they skipped through here fast. There was 2 last week?
Yeah. No, it was 3. It was 3.
3? Okay, so that's 6. I go, you can do a show for a week. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's just me.
We'd watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're telling you right now, NBC, we would watch it. And then the third group that went out without much discussion was Laura Vivas versus the other duo, Christina's duo, Beat Frequency. And they sang Poker Face, and from the 10 seconds that they played, I was actually glad that they didn't show that one.
Yeah. This one, I agree with them on this decision. 'Cause I was like,
Oh boy, that sounded. There was some point Alicia had asked me, "Have you ever seen a battle that's really bad?" And I was like, "You know what? I don't really think so. Like, there's always something good about just about every battle. Like, they're not that bad." And then they ran through this one, and I saw that poker face, and I was like, "Okay, well, there's the bad one.
Yeah.
That's the one. The exception that proves the rule." So the final battle of the evening was Team CeeLo, and it was Emily Earle and Mackenzie Borg. Mackenzie was do you remember what he had?
Oh, yes, he had the viral myocarditis.
Viral myocarditis.
Booyah.
And he's very young. I forget his exact age, probably like 16 or 17.
I think that's about right.
He came out during the blind auditions with a guitar, which is cool, and he played Pumped Up Kicks. And I immediately liked him, and I was like, oh, this is my dude. I like this kid. And I liked Emily Earle too. I definitely didn't dislike her, but I already had a bias going into this battle for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how I felt about the song choice for me. They sang "Good Time" by Owl City,
Right, which is already a duet between Adam, whatever his name is from Owl City, and Carly Rae Jepsen of that song.
Oh yeah. See, this is my lack of pop knowledge coming back to bite me. I was happy I knew the band name.
Yeah. I actually had Owl City's debut album, and I played the crap out of that for a summer. I really like that album. The one with fireflies on it.
Right, yeah, that's the song I know full well by them.
Yeah.
Because that was, for me, most people don't know this about me. I listen to, like, harder rock now. I used to, but I'm, like, 90s kid. Like, I listen to all those bands. And then the new pop stuff came on, and I kind of faded away from it and went towards the harder stuff a little bit. So Fireflies was, like, the time where that transition was happening for me, where I was kind of, like, 50-50 between the two. And then it just kind of shifted over.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's, you know. And my mom tells me, like, music industry is crap.
That's funny.
You know those, yeah. But I enjoy it. That's all that matters, right?
Well,
I still come back.
While Chris was talking, I looked it up because I wanted to get his name. Owl City is one person, primarily. His name's Adam Young, and that first album that we're talking about was basically written and recorded entirely in his parents' basement.
Right, I remember them mentioning that now.
And this song in particular, Good Time, was written by him, a writer named Brian Lee, and Matt Thiessen. Matt Thiessen is the lead singer and primary songwriter of Reliant K, which is one of my favorite bands, period.
Okay, that's why I knew that name.
And I've met this guy in person, and he's the coolest guy, like, ever.
That's awesome.
He's so smart, so funny and clever, and incredibly successful with Reliant K. I love that guy. So I'm actually not crazy about this song either, but that's interesting to know. I had no idea that he co-wrote this song.
Yeah.
So anyway, the battle was about what you'd expect. And the most interesting thing that I mentioned at the top of the show was they go into rehearsal and CeeLo sees, it was so funny, Mackenzie's like putting on his guitar in slow motion.
Yeah.
Just hoping that CeeLo won't notice or something. And CeeLo's just like, no guitar. And he's like, really? And he's like, yeah, really, no guitar. You got to do it. And I think CeeLo was really right to do it.
Yeah. You can't be, I call it a one-trick pony, but, you know, like, that's what got him into singing and everything. I respect that, but you got to show us you can do other stuff, too.
And he really did. Like,
yeah,
he became a different person without the guitar on. He was jumping around. He was full of giant smile on his face. He was getting the crowd pumped up. And I think Christina noted that after the battle. She said, like, there were two people up there asking us to have a good time, and only one of you looked like you were actually having a good time.
Right. So, yeah. So I was happy. CeeLo chose Mackenzie. I was happy with that.
So was Mackenzie's dad.
Yes, he was awesome.
Mackenzie's dad is clearly his biggest fan.
Oh, 100%.
That's awesome. And Emily had to go home, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So if you're at all interested in seeing what the lineup is for next week, it is actually already posted on the Wikipedia article, which I always include in the info for this show. Not only do they have all of the matchups for next week's battles, but they even have some of the songs. I think they just figured it. I think someone must have figured it out just based on all the previews that they show constantly. Like they've got, we know that Madonna's Material Girl is going to be in there. Free Your Mind, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. So if you want to know what you have to look forward to next week, you can check that out.
I can't wait. My favorite singer's coming up.
Who is your all-time favorite?
Me, I'm all for Cassidy Pope.
Okay, that's right. Hey Monday and all that.
Yeah, she just blew me away. Like out of all, and I had to look back at all their people too and go back a little bit. I was like, who do I like? I'm like, oh, Cassidy.
I've got no
100%.
problem with Cassidy. I don't know who I could. By the time live voting comes, I will definitely have a single favorite person, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I have a few people right now that I'm like bouncing between. Deborah is a very strong contender for number one.
Oh, absolutely.
She's phenomenal. So come back next week. You can follow us on Twitter at Sean B. Martin, and Chris's Twitter is
KARR 2001.
will be linked in the info. Make sure you check out his channel where he started playing Minecraft. If you're still listening this far and you're a Minecraft fan, you should check that out.
Definitely come visit.
And otherwise, we will see you next week. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.